language model automators, Python masters, and Langchain enthusiasts. Welcome to Insight Builder channel. We are going to look at Langchain agents, the novel AI decision maker. You must have come across Langchain library through some route, and you must have come to this particular video. If so, then you might not be aware what exactly Langchain is or what this library is capable of doing. Just to give you a breather, we had been discussing about these agents quite in earlier videos also, but in this specific video, we are going to concentrate on the agent that has been listed in the right left of this particular slide. If you are not aware of the Langchain ecosystem and the Python ecosystem around this Langchain library, I would suggest to take a look at set of playlists that this set of videos in the playlist that is in the same channel that of mine, and you can come up to speed at a very rapid pace by looking at the Langchain the prompt factory. Now let us jump directly into the question at hand. What agents do? Agents contains tools. They contain the large language models and work with these models to get the output. After they get the output, they have to decide based on the output, they have to decide which tool to use next. For this activity, the Langchain models have to have the tools along with them. That is also important. So they are bundled with the tools also. So we will see how that is being done. Before that, let us first look at the types of agents that are available. We have zero shot React description agent, that is MRKL, it's called. We have chat zero shot React description, that is MRKL chat. We have React doc store, and finally we have self ask with search. And all these agents are initialized using this initialize agent and tool. These are the two modules, two classes that we will be using to initialize the agent as well as get the tools up and running. We will be seeing this in a couple of examples, starting with zero shot React description MRKL. You will see here at the top, we have the search function. We are using the self API wrapper, and we have the OpenAI fact LLM. Why it is called a fact LLM? Because the temperature is zero. When you keep the temperature at the lower rate, the randomness that the model exhibits is almost nullified. That is why I am calling that as fact LLM. And then I have the math chain, the LLM math chain that has been again imported from the Langchain modules. And I have used the fact LLM along with the math chain. What happens here is that you see the in the tools area, I am importing the search tool, which is bringing the search function dot run. You see that at the first element of the tool, and in second element of the tool, I am again using the tool name. I am using the tool function, and I am using the LLM math function. So what is happening is that when the language model, when the agent connects with the language model, it starts searching first, and then based on the search output, if there is a calculation required in the query, then it will use the math function. So this is all this instruction is given in the description of the tool. So the tool should contain the name, it should contain the function that we are going to call, and the description of the tool. Without this, the zero shot React description. You see the description? This description is what tells that okay, this agent requires a description inside the tool. This is how you build it. And then you see the initialization agent at the below. We use the tools, we use the LLM. So in this LLM, we are using the fact LLM, and then we will use the agent as zero shot React description. And finally, we are saying verbose equal to true so that we can get to understand what the agent is doing. So all these activities are it's a jam-packed function. And when you are going to call the final agent, you are going to use MRKL instead of using any other function. You will be using directly the MRKL, the last Python variable that we have initialized, we'll be using that and we will be running the query, mrkl.run, and we will give the query. You can try it out directly, so you will get to feel what is going on. Next, we have zero shot React description with chat. So that is called as MRKL chat, and the difference is here. So rest of the things are same, but what we are going to do is, instead of using the regular LLM, we will be using chat LLM. You see this chat OpenAI. In the previous one, we were using just OpenAI. This is a model that is linking with uh, the generative, the text generative models in OpenAI library. In case of chat OpenAI, it will work with the chat models like ChatGPT 3.5 or 4, whatever the model that comes new for chat purpose. And the agent, this time the MRKL agent, will connect with that chat agent. And you see the difference here. The most important point is that depending on the LLM or the large language model that you are connecting, the agent has to do the parsing from the output. And based on the parsed output only, it can decide whether to use the search tool or the math tool. If the parsing is not accurate, then the agent will fail. And if the agent fails, then the output also will fail again. This is a challenge that you have to overcome. That is the reason why I'm explaining this. Major challenge when I started working with Langchain, we can actually initialize these tools in couple of ways. Okay, you can initialize this tool by without even understanding what is going on. So there is a couple of there are list of tools that was shared. If you go back, they just a minute. Let me go back. In this particular area, they give us a list of utilities, the agent toolkit utilities, which has inbuilt a set of tools that do multiple things. So we don't know how it is built. And same way, if you look at here, if you look at this example, the tools used: search, SQL database chain, and the next one. In case of self-ask with search, we again see they are using only search. And in case of the last one, you see here the Wikipedia doc store. All these things, they have already done the example and they have shared it with us, the Langchain developers. When you have to develop it by yourself, that time we need to have a very deeper understanding on how to how to actually create the agents by ourselves by using the functions that we create. That is the intention of this particular explanation video that I am trying to put. The React Dark Store. Dark Store, in case of large language models, is the data, that the data files or the data sets that whichever we are having, we can actually put them in the vector DB doc stores. Or in fact, we can actually create doc store explorers by using the doc store explorer class here, and we can import it from Langchain. This particular activity will make the uh, interaction with the data files, interaction with the various parts of the SQL database sometimes, or your JSON file, CSV file, whichever file data that you're going to give it to the Langchain model and the large language model. What will happen is the large language model will work with the agent in such a way that it will search for the file, search for the location in your file, which will answer the question. So this is kind of a it works together. It's not something that we can actually explain it theoretically. You have to see that couple of videos that I've already shared, where I show how the SQL database toolkit connects to the SQL database and gets the data, even shows us the queries how it gets the data. You can see that in the playlist that I have shared earlier. You can see that in the video that I've shared in the playlist earlier. And this is the point that I'm trying to make. So here, in case of React Doc Store, you don't see the name, you don't see the description in the tool name. So you see only the name, and you see that there are two names, that is search and lookup. That is how you have to build a Doc Store, React Doc Store agent. If you build it with name and description, what will happen is this React Doc Store agent will reject it because it will not be able to parse it. Okay, this is one of the important aspects of how they are building the tools. These tools, the functions that you see here, these functions can be modified. this particular function that has been written here, this function has this class, basically it's not a function, I'm sorry, this class, whenever it gives an output through its method, will have its own specifications, and it has to match with the agent's specification. All these ideas and points I am actually highlighting here. I'm not explaining, I'm not going and showing these things, how this works, because I want you guys to actually explore. I want you guys to know that okay, there is a possibility like this, but you should know the overview first of all. Okay, and then we can dive deep and we can do a lot of experimentation. In the next video, I will be doing these experimentations, but I these videos are more of a highlight of what is exactly there in Langchain library and how to use these first of all. So this is something that I felt it's required, and that's why I'm making this video. I hope this video is very helpful for you guys. And finally comes self ask with search. In this case, we are going to create the tool again, but this time you see the tool is named as intermediate answer. This has to be called as intermediate answer. You cannot call it anything else. And when you are going to call the agent with the LLM, you can use a regular LLM or you can use the chat LLMs also. That will work. But the point here is that when you have to have the tools that is interfacing with this particular agent named as intermediate answer, because the AP, this particular LLM, sorry, not the LLM, this particular agent will create a kind of a self conversation with itself. Okay, and inside the agent, what has happened is they have created prompts. The prompts is given in such a way that okay, you have to first look at the statement that is given by the user as a prompt, and then you should first of all think. So the prompt inside the agent is generated this way. In the next video, we will actually go deeper into an example, and you will understand more vividly what is exactly happening. But explaining this without an example first, and making you to think, is what is more important. So in self-ask with search, the actual agent, if you go and check in Langchain Hub, there you will see that the output, even in case of in the Python Jupyter notebook itself, you can get the output also to see how the prompt is. I will show it in the next video. There you will see the prompt says clearly that get the get the statement or the prompt from the user, and then the prompt actually is getting updated. It says that in the prompt you have to think. It is the prompt says to the LLM or the agent, the large language model, that you have to first think and you have to output the thought, and then think about which tool to use based on the output that based on the input that it has got. So this kind of a self ask with search is a implementation which is equal to let us think step by step. There is a prompt version called as let us think step by step. So it is very similar to that, but that particular prompt has been already inputted updated into this agent, and it has given us a single entity for us. So like this, when we start working, what will happen is we will get an overall idea. What we will get an overall idea that what are the types of agent and how we can use them. uh, Keeping this in one place, keeping this as a single video, and not and explaining the entire steps that each of these agents goes through, and also about how the tools have to be created for each of these agent. That is the starting point, because now you know that you have to understand how the large language model is going to give the output, and the agents have to parse it in. So next step is you have to also understand, okay, once the output comes out, how the tool is going to read the output from the large language model, the function that you are going to write when you are developing. So tomorrow you will become a prompt engineer, or you might actually become a LLM chain engineer. At that time, you should know what is actually going to come into your function, and how that function is going to be read by the agent as well as the large language model. These kinds of thinking can only happen when you understand each and every available agents there. So that is a starting point, guys, and I hope that this video is quite helpful for you. And I do like this video. That will show me that the content is reaching the right members, and also the way I am teaching is the way I'm communicating the insights and ideas is sufficiently useful for you guys, and share this with others also, because slowly and steadily the large language model ecosystem is expanding, and these kinds of basic insights will accelerate your learning. That is very important. Understanding the overview, at the same time understanding the details, is kind of a yin and yang setup. So do share it with your colleagues and friends who are interested in large language models and Langchain automation, etc. And do subscribe to my channel, so that once you subscribe, you will get the update on your YouTube dashboard when I upload my videos. And most importantly, if you go to my playlist, the other playlist that I had already shared, if you go to this playlist, the other videos that is available in this playlist will have lots of examples, and these examples you can work directly on the Google collaboratory environment, and you can work with Langchain directly there. So the notebooks, the GitHub repo, everything has been shared in this particular playlist. So do take a look at that, and I hope that you will have a wonderful time with Langchain and rest of the ecosystem. And till the next video, guys, have a great time. Do subscribe to my video and stay tuned for further updates. See you. Have a great time.